प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, नो वन इज हेल्पिंग, नो वन इज हेल्पिंग, हम सर्वाइव कर पाएंगे? उनको कंटिन्यूस फ्लो ऑफ ऑक्सीजन की जरूरत है। ये 18
Dr. Seth, let me begin with you first. This anguish that I'm feeling, I'm deeply, deeply pained, not just disappointed, sir, when I look at these pictures, when I look at doctors themselves breaking down like this for lack of oxygen. What is the scenario looking like for you, sir, 24 to 48 hours time from now? Are we going further down a ditch, or is there some reprieve possible for us?
So at the moment, I'd say that it's really heart-wrenching. You're right about the visuals you saw. Yes, we as doctors have always been trained to save lives. And for once, we never actually believed. We fought with beds, we tried to get more ventilators. We put our 24 hours to 48 hours working out, making sure patients live. But to see a patient dying for a lack of oxygen is not, none of us had ever dreamt, imagined, or were ever trained to face this. Importantly to understand is at the moment you asked me around what's 24 hours and 48 hours later, most hospitals, at least in Delhi, including ours, is living hour to hour. And that's a very sad situation to be in. That's a very distressing situation to be in. For example, each of us is only saying, we got oxygen for 8 hours, 5 hours, 2 hours, and you've known those figures yourself. At the moment, even at our hospital, we had oxygen till 8 o'clock this morning. Luckily, at 4 o'clock, we got a delivery of another ton, which lasts us to this evening, 8 o'clock. So we canceled all surgeries. We've had to find ways and solutions within our own system, while the powers that be, who till now neglected these issues as to how to bring the oxygen in, and it had to be the courts to indict whoever they wanted to say, let's get it for the patients, it's your job. Yes, unfortunately, it's also our job, right on site, to keep patients alive. Everyone who's actually involved in the supply chain, be it production, be it transportation, is still not feeling the pains apart from your visuals, but we feel it standing on the bedside of multiple patients who are looking at us saying, are we going to be alive a few hours later? So this morning we actually canceled surgeries. Yesterday we had to create a whole 10 commandments as to how, with that limited oxygen, we would try and extend it by an hour or 2 hours, and how we would utilize it to optimize its utilization so that we can extend the time frame of the next delivery just in case the delivery got delayed. When the oxygen requirement was normal at that time, it was fine for the states to actually give it to others. But now at this stage, you saw what's happening. Actually, firstly, there are not enough of those trucks to transfer liquid oxygen, and that's falling short at the moment. Methodologies, it's taking hours and it's taking days, not just hours, it's taking at least 6 to 7 days to transfer them in those lorries, the special lorries. Finally, there are not enough cylinders now. They're not enough, the cylinders are not enough there. So we actually got a problem in the whole chain of transportation just because of the huge amounts of oxygen which now have to be transported. I want to emphasize 2 important points. Firstly, this chain can only be overcome if it is centrally coordinated without any biases. You saw how the political parties and the states of varying political parties actually accuse each other of stealing our oxygen, and also having, you know, a truck which was taking oxygen from state A to state B being stopped and saying you can't enter the other state, and so on and so forth. I think it has to be centrally coordinated. It's not difficult to overcome, by the way, because production is there, diversion of oxygen from the steel plants is going to happen. I think the reaction has not been fast enough, and I'm therefore surprised that the courts had to come in to make that reaction fast enough, to make the realization that people are going to die, to actually say, let's do it by tomorrow, otherwise people will die. I think we have been slow in terms of reaction. Fine, the numbers have been rising precipitously to the extent that none of us ever imagined. But on the other hand, there was a forewarning that this would happen, but the reaction wasn't fast enough. The realization wasn't fast enough. The coordination did not happen in time. And that's why we face this situation where we're panicking and rushing for the same issues, which we could have done easily 2-3 days ago.